Friends, Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have Mafex, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Peter B. Parker. Probably the best Spider-Man movie ever made. Maybe Spider-Man 2 of the Sam Raimi trilogy is almost as good. But I mean, everything a Spider-Man fan would ever want mostly was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And I'm really excited for the sequel, which has inspired and influenced the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. But just what an incredible film, animation, story-wise, character-wise, truly everything you would want. What I would like to personally see in the future is more Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, traditional, not the Ultimate style. He was Ultimate's version in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which he was just a big green monster, which I hated and thought was really dumb. I didn't like that. I like the crazy guy with the goblin costume on the glider, not like a big dragon-like creature. So I'm hoping he will be the villain in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or we'll see that incarnation of Green Goblin. And Otto Octavius, Dr. Octopus. They did the female version in the movie, but Otto Octavius is so iconic. So I hope there's a lot of cool things that they can do with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and because it's animated, they're not limited. So very exciting stuff going forward. So anyhow, today I've been waiting for this pre-order forever. I originally pre-ordered it on bigbadtoystore.com, but I'm starting to learn that they're horrible with pre-orders. For whatever reason, they always get it last. They get the figures last compared to everybody else. So I canceled my pre-orders on there and got them from eBay, paid a little bit more, probably like $10 to $20 more than the scalper. So I paid about $120 for this guy, which is fine if you consider shipping. Got him from Japan, came lightning fast, and I've been waiting for this figure for almost 2 years. Between this, Mafex Batman Hush, and Mafex Superman Hush, this guy and Miles Morales I've been waiting for forever. But Spider-Man's probably my favorite comic book character of all time, especially Peter Parker. Anybody who's read the comics and has gone on the journey of his life with him all the way from the late 60s up until now, he's the most relatable superhero. He struggles emotionally. He struggles psychologically. Things are never easy for him. He was a teenager when he started out, and in this version, in the film, he's a grown man, sort of at the end of his rope, broken up from the love of his life, Mary Jane Watson, divorced, I guess, was the implication. Overweight, which I think was hilarious. Just how they examined the psychological ramifications of depression and coping. So Peter's coping mechanism was binging Netflix and just pigging out on food. So that was a really interesting and hilarious part of the movie because it's close to home, in real life, and how people cope with stress and depression, which is a very serious thing. I'm not making light of people who struggle with depression, but it was just really nice to see that. Because superheroes, they did it now with in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and they also did it with Thor. I think they actually copied Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Thor. I can't remember which one came first, if it was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Avengers Endgame. But anyhow, it's just a great angle, and it's funny. It's funny to see superheroes gain weight, and even though they're super strong and are supposed to have unbelievable super fast metabolisms, uh, it's really funny to see them get out of shape and then get it back. Actually, no, the first movie that ever did that concept was The Incredibles. Mr. Incredible became a dad, became a family man, and just got really out of shape. So anyhow, this Peter Parker actually reminds me of the Mayday Parker's Peter Parker, that came from the What If storyline. He was futuristic. He got one of his legs blown off in a battle, and he was just like this old seasoned father. This Peter Parker's not a father yet, but he was definitely a mentor to Miles Morales. So anyhow, finally got this figure. Super excited. There's a lot to like about it. Really excited. Excuse me. So I want to go and open this with you guys, and I want you to experience it with me. I have not opened this yet. So let's get a look at it. Here's the front. We have the nice artwork of Peter B. Parker. There's this hide in him, and I love this. Like, he's in his sweatpants, and he doesn't have his boots on. You can see him in bare feet. I love that. Here's the back, just with all the dynamic poses and imagery. And there's the side. He's masked, ready to fight, ready to go. And here's the bottom. So you see it's official Medicom Mafex toy. We got the hologram sticker, so you know it's not a knockoff. My box is a little bit warped for some reason, like the bubble. But here we go. I'm going to cut the tape with you guys so you can just see, and you can see what you're getting, and we can go through this together. So go open him up and pull him out. So I'm not gonna, so this is the traditional stand that comes with every Mafex figure. So I'm not going to open that up, but this guy does come with directions, believe it or not. So it shows you how to take his coat off and just how to put the different pieces on. I don't really need directions for that, so I'm just going to keep that pristine in the package and not open that, just in case if I ever get into a tight spot and I want to resell it. So I'm going to try very gently to take this off, because whenever you take these covers off, it just explodes and the pieces go everywhere. So I just want to do it very gently and pull him out here. There we go. So I got the cover off, and this way the pieces are not going to go all over the place. Let me see if I can kind of prop that up. There we go. All right, so let's get him out here. Let's pull him out just as he is. So one of the most exciting thing about this figure for me is the soft goods clothing. And oh my goodness, wow, so his sweatpants here feels just like a sweatpants material. And his trench coat, I guess like that in the movie, is sort of pulls it out of the gutter, is a nice canvas material. Just the detail, like the stitching and the little buttons, and this is wired, so we have a wire in the collar, so you can adjust that. There's a wire here in the zipper area, in the lapels, and then there's a wire at the bottoms here, so you can pose the jacket, which is really awesome. So that just looks fantastic. So when I first saw pictures of this, the only thing that I didn't like that they didn't get right is they didn't give him flesh tone hands. So in the movie, he's not wearing his gloves. So I just wish they would have given him, because they give these boots that you can swap his legs off with. I just wish they would have given him flesh tone forearms and hands, and this would have been the perfect Peter Parker to Spider-Man figure. Like, I always loved that as a kid. I always wanted, so when you'd buy the Spider-Man figure, he'd always come masked and in costume, but they'd always make that figure where he could transform from Peter Parker to Spider-Man. And if they just would have given those flesh tone hands, this figure, I think, would have been perfect. Look at that head sculpt. Yeah, of course they gave him the modern haircut. The haircut of the last, I don't know, I guess like 5 years for guys with the shaved head and the really exaggerated comb over. Sort of like an Andrew Garfield hairdo, which is not bad, but it dates the figure. I'm very old school in the sense of like I like the just like the original John Romita Sr. Sort of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby hairstyle for Peter Parker. But this isn't too bad, so it won't date him that much. But they gave him a fancy haircut. Face looks fantastic. I forget the voice actor who played Peter. It wasn't Chris Pine. Chris Pine was like the super loved Spider-Man, the first version, and then they had like a comedian do the voice for Peter in the second version, the down on his luck version. But he did a fantastic job. I'm sorry, I forget his name at the moment, but the face just looks great. They even shaded to give him some peach fuzz or just 5 o'clock shadow that he needs to shave. I love this version. He just looked older. He looked worn out. He still was noble because he helps Miles and wants to save, New York. He's just down on his luck. And that's how Spider-Man is, You got to have Spider-Man down on his luck. It just makes him so compelling. So there's the jacket. I'm going to take it off. Like I said, they gave you directions on how to take the jacket off. I mean, I think they want you to remove the hands first, but we're just going to take that off and put it aside. Love that jacket. So, he just looks at, the sculpt here, like he doesn't look too bloated like he did in the film. He has a little bit of a belly, but he just looks bloated. He doesn't look the way that he did in the film as much. So they could have improved that just a little bit, but it's still a great sculpt. He just looks a little bit soft in the midsection. Not quite the way that he did in the film. Another design choice that I didn't necessarily like about how they animated him is they made his gloves like really small, where typically Spider-Man's gloves come up to about right there. So that was just a weird choice that they made. But this costume is very textured. So there's little divots and grooves. The webbing goes inside. There's texture on the costume, just like the movie costumes. So it's not smooth. Here's my other Mafex. See how it's just like, oh, this is my knockoff Mafex. Spider-Man comic book version, but it's essentially the same. And there's no texture except for the webbing. So that's like a nice little difference there. We have a really nice blue color. I guess that would be a royal blue. Looks really nice. It's not like a lighter blue. Oh, look, they even they put in the Marvel brand right there. So anyhow, let's talk about these sweatpants. So look at that. You can do a split in the sweatpants. Like it feels like a sweatpants material. This is fantastic. Like I love this. This is so awesome. They've come such a long way with action figure clothing. Love that. So that would be fun. You could probably put this on other action figures if you just want your superhero to be in disguise. I'll probably leave him in his clothes just like this because I have so many different Spider-Man figures. There's the shoes that he comes with. He comes with one boot, and then he comes with one, sort of looks like a low-top Converse, just like the typical one that teenagers always wear now, that they've always worn. My only critique about these boots is they didn't articulate the toes, and it seems like Mafex goes all out for the articulation. So I'm surprised that they didn't put toe articulation in. They didn't do it for the bare feet, which was kind of disappointing. So anyhow, that's just something that I would have liked because they normally do that. So let's take these shoes off. And take the shoes off, and we'll put his bare feet on. Yeah, so that's just a nice, wonderful touch. Like, it comes with his bare feet. I think that's awesome. Now, see, especially these, it would have been nice if they were articulated, because they articulate the toes when his boots are on, or his socks, or his Spider-Man socks, whatever you want to call them. So I just felt like it would have been appropriate if they would have articulated the toes. Just put like a single joint, like right across the feet. But they didn't. So whatever. So I'm going to try and put this on, and I'm having a hard time getting that on super tight, and I don't want to scratch the paint. Really have to work that. So yeah, I had to work that to get it on. But let's put the other one on real quick, hopefully. And yeah, so those holes are really tight. But that's cool. So there he is, barefooted, like when he was hanging out in his apartment, and then that portal came and sort of just plucked him away. So that's awesome. So we got the double jointed knees as well, which I love. Gotta have the double jointed knees and elbows. Also has that. So, all right, let's get these sweatpants off so you guys can get a good look at what it looks like. I have to take the feet off, get the sweatpants off. So that's what he looks like without the sweatpants. So I think they could have done a better job here. If I'm nitpicking, don't get me wrong, I love this figure, but they could have just painted a blue line across there, so it I don't know, so it just doesn't look as weird. So it's like I don't know, it just kind of looks odd the way that it is. So they could have done a better job there. So with his with his sweatpants off, you can sort of see his dad bod a little bit better. So look at that nice belly. So that looks really good. Nice and slim. Here he is. Like I said, this is him. He's very tall compared to the comic book version. He's a lot taller, actually. He may have a half an inch on this version of Spider-Man. So that's cool. Let's get a look at these boots. So here's his swappable legs, which I love. I just wish they would add swappable arms, and this figure would have been perfect, in my opinion. But that's all right. It's pretty darn close. So we do have the magnet feet, which I love. So I'll be putting those on because I just like my Spider-Man to have the magnet feet. What else does he have? He also has the magnet hands, as you can see. So that's great. So Mafex did the typical magnet hands and feet that they always do. There's a nice slice of pizza, which is hilarious. And this is a nice feature as well. They have the coffee mug holding hand. So that's awesome. They have a coffee mug. Oh, it's even painted on the inside, so there's coffee in there. Oh, look at that. Just like, look at that little detail. The 3 fingers go through the handle, if you can see that, and then the pinky goes over. So that's just like a really nice detail. That's wonderful. So I'll swap that out for you guys. Like I said, these joints are really tight, and I just, oh my. Okay, yeah, so right as I was trying to do that, the coffee cup broke right there. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put that hand back on because I'm going to have to glue that coffee cup. So see that right there, guys? That just broke as I was trying to put that on. So be very careful if you are going to put that coffee cup hand on because mine just broke. So let's swap out these legs. So look at that nice little peg. That's really nice there. That looks really good. And it's on there pretty tight. So we'll swap. Okay. Yeah, just be very careful because there's nothing worse than getting a new figure and it immediately breaking as you're trying to swap features, which has happened in the past. Absolutely wonderful. Like, that looks fantastic. And let's swap the Spider-Man head. Let's get Spidey's head on there. So we get, what do we get with this guy? We get 4 head sculpts. That's a really tight peg. Okay. I might recommend, sometimes I put olive oil on those pegs so it just slips on. But look at that head sculpt. That looks great. That's a really good mask. Let's compare it to the Mafex mask. So here we have the comic book mask versus the Into the Spiderverse mask. So it's just a little bit more understated. This is more of like a Romita Jr. kind of look, in my opinion. This is like the Bagley mask, Mark Bagley style. So looks really good. I actually like this head sculpt better. And one second, let me put him there. Yeah, so, oh, man down. But I love this one with the squinty eyes. I just think that's cool. I'll probably display his masked head like that, just because it's a unique look. So we have that head. There's the back. You can see that the mask is textured as well. Just very subtly painted. They just do great detail. That's what it looks like on the inside. Just very, very, very nice. And so we get 2 Spider-Man heads and we get 2 Peter Parker heads. Just like with the Miles, you get the mask sort of half on. And this expression is more serious. Unlike this one, which is more just like easygoing. This is a serious, so you can see the comparisons. Looks very good. Love it. Love it. So many options, you guys. You have so many options with this. You also get an unmasked mask, which is just sculpted like so. So, and there's like a little, he can hold it in his hands. I'm pretty sure. I just have to find the appropriate hand. And yeah. So he can hold it in this hand, just like that. So if, you know, you want to pose it like that for whatever reason, you can. Oh, just dropped it, lost it. So anyhow, wow, just a wonderful, you know, if you're a Spider-Man collector like I am, just all out articulation. We got butterfly joints in the shoulders, goes all the way up. Just, you know, great posing. You can get them really awesome poses, the typical, you know, Spider-Man kicking out as he's web swinging. Let's see, the leg goes up about that high. I mean, you can get it really high. I mean, you can pretty much get this guy into any sort of pose that you want. It doesn't go back too far. In terms of a split or a straddle, we can almost get him in a full straddle. So that's awesome. Complete ankle movement. We got the rocking. We got tilt up and down, like pivot, toe articulation. Like like I said, the double jointed knees. There's a cut in the thigh, so you can tilt the leg in and out. We got 2 points of articulation in the torso. You know, you can do the full rotation. We have it right in the solar plexus as well, so we can sort of hide, not too much crunch. That big belly gets in the way. We got a nice back bend there. So very nice articulation. You know, everything you would want for posing. You know, we got double joints in the neck. We have a articulation where it connects to the traps and the collarbone, and then we also have it in the upper head, which is on that double pegged ball joint. Let me take this off so you guys can see. Yeah, so they have this, I don't know why they do this. They do like a crooked, sort of like a crooked double ball joint with that for whatever reason. We'll just swap ahead so you guys can see. The thing I appreciate that they make it tight, but it also scares the crap out of me because I'm so afraid. Yeah, so I'm having trouble, like it's so tight, like I'm having trouble putting this on. They should make the head swaps just a little bit looser. Yeah, I can't even get that on. So I'm not going to try it with that head because I don't want it to snap off. Let's see if I can get this other Spider-Man masked head on. There we go. That one on a lot easier. So yeah, that just looks great. There he is from the back. Like, look, he even has like love handles, which is awesome. Yeah, this guy's real long. I used to have the Mafex Amazing Spider-Man 2 Andrew Garfield figure, and this one kind of reminds me a lot of that one in terms of scale. So here he is with Miles. Miles is a lot smaller than him, which is awesome. So it's sort of like the Batman and Robin scenario, which I love. Just looks great. Yeah, so, you know, this Miles Morales and this Peter Parker are two of the best Spider-Man figures ever made, in my opinion. Like, everything you would ever want. We just have the alternate Peter Parker head sculpt, 2 of those. You know, you have the legs. The only thing that would have made it perfect is if they would have just made the flesh version for the forearms and the hands, and they would have hit it out of the park with this. But it's pretty darn close, I would say. So anyhow, guys, yeah, these are coming out. You can get them all over eBay. You can get them at various toy stores. I highly, highly recommend it. Let's see if there's anything else that I didn't show you. I mean, it's all the same, different hand poses, so I don't feel like it's necessary to show you guys all of those. There's his whip hand, his web shooting hand. He has fisted hands. He has different open hands. He has hands that hold the webs. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So he comes with various webs also. Same webs as all the other Mafex Spider-Man figures come with, like Venom and comic book version Spider-Man and Miles. So you get various webs as well that you can pose him with. But just an amazing figure, especially with the soft goods. That's just like, that's real sweatpants material. There's even stretch in the ankles here. Like that's incredible. I think there's a little bit of elastic in the waistband as well. The coat is amazing. The only thing I wanted to see is if you could get Miles' shoes on Peter's legs, and just to see, I think the hole is a little bit too small, but Miles comes with 2 sets of Jordans, and he has a magnet pair and then just an unmagneted pair, and I think I'm going to drill them out because I want to be able to put the Jordans on Peter as well. So anyhow, Mafex, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, Peter B. Parker, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen is going to be coming. And it's just an amazing figure. I highly recommend it. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. And God bless you all. Stay safe out there. Peace.